Welcome to a sold-out Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We are here for UAB visiting Western Kentucky in the final game of Conference USA action before bonus play begins. And we're bringing you this game exclusively right here on Facebook. Hey everybody, I'm Kristen Balboni. I will be here courtside with you. I'll be joined by Mike Monaco and Tim Scarborough on the call in just a few minutes, but we're getting close to tip-off. But before we get there, we just want to welcome you into this Facebook exclusive broadcast. Let you know what to expect if it's been a while since you watched one of our games right here on Facebook, or maybe it's your first time. So in addition to the great basketball that's going to be taking place on this court, we want this experience to be all about you. And there are a couple of ways that you can get involved in this broadcast here with us. First, you can post on Facebook. You can see the comments starting to scroll either below you on your screen or beside you, depending on which way you're watching. We want to hear from you. I would love to know where everyone is watching from, who you are rooting for. Always love to see where everybody is checking in from, so go ahead and get those comments coming. The other way, that if you want to see yourself on this broadcast with us, all you got to do is go to Instagram and use that hashtag UABVSWKU. You go in there, you use that hashtag. It could be you and your friends, your setup of how you're watching. I know Hilltopper fans love to post pictures of their pets in WKU gear. It's my favorite. Want to see all of those, so go ahead, go to Instagram, use that hashtag, and you will see your pictures right here on this broadcast. Can't wait to see your Facebook comments, and I cannot wait to see all of your IG pics. Now, as I said, we got a good game here. So this is the last game in Conference USA play before bonus play begins. And after all the games are completed on Saturday, Conference USA is going to announce the following games. So there are going to be 3 pods. It'll be 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and 11 through 14 is how they'll be split up. And then all these teams are going to play within their respective pod for the final 4 games of the regular season. As you see right here, Western Kentucky already safely in that top 5 tier for bonus play. They're second in the standings behind Old Dominion. The Blazers, though, they're currently in 6th place in the league standings after a road win on Thursday at Marshall. They can earn a top spot in that top 5 with a win at Western Kentucky and a North Texas loss at FIU. But I think it's going to be difficult because Western Kentucky is playing their best basketball. But why don't we get the experts in to break this down for us? Mike and Tim. Tim, how can UAB win in what is a very difficult environment against a very good Western Kentucky team?
Well, you know, this UAB team has been playing a little bit better actually on the road than they have been at home. So they had a good road win at Marshall on Thursday. So Balboni, I think they have a great chance of sweeping, which in my opinion is the toughest road trip in Conference USA.
But it's not easy in particular here today because of how well Western Kentucky's been playing the last few.
Yeah, 8 of the last 9, and they are really good on this floor. So we'll see how it plays out.
Should be a good one here at Diddle Arena. Let's head inside for the national anthem.
Let us rise and stay standing for the color guard and the singing of our national anthem performed today by 11-year-old Macy Malone Brown.
seen today. The rest of the day. I can't believe what I just saw. We got a ball game.
It's another sellout crowd in Bowling Green, Kentucky for a pivotal Conference USA matchup. We welcome you inside Dental Arena where the UAB Blazers clash with the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Let's check out the standings as things stand right now in Conference USA. Western Kentucky is already locked into the top pod in this first year of the bonus play conference setup of scheduling. UAB needs a win today. They could use some help as well on a big stage here at Diddle. And with that, we say hello and welcome to Bowling Green with Tim Scarborough. Mike Monaco on hand. We'll hear from Kristen Balboni in a moment as well. And we've talked about this new scheduling. It comes down to today, UAB is hot coming off a big win. They run into a red hot team.
They have because, you know, Western has won 8 of the last 9, but they've been winning by a narrow margin. They are still a beatable team. They've gotten better, but they've had trouble closing games in the beginning of the season. Now they're starting to figure things out, and they've made some changes to their lineup that, in my opinion, has made the difference. But this UAB team, they had lost 4 in a row. Remember, a few weeks ago, they were in first place in the conference. They were 6-2, looking pretty, but then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off a little bit. They got a good road win on Thursday. Let's see if they can sweep, in my opinion, the toughest road trip in Conference USA.
Let's get to the players to watch. Tavion Hollingsworth for Western Kentucky had huge expectations around him this year.
And with good reason. He was a dynamite freshman last year, preseason all-conference this year, so the expectation level was high. 32% field goal is not where he wants to be, but when he is playing at his best, he is great at sharing, and we know sharing is caring, but this kid is dynamite in the open court. He makes great decisions, and he has an array of moves that make it very difficult to stop him when he gets it going downhill.
For UAB, Lewis Sullivan is the 5th-year senior, and he's coming off a double-double in Thursday's win.
A 5th-year senior is a guy that's been a role player for most of his career, and now he's paying dividends in his 5th year in a Blazer uniform. He played behind a couple of really good players in Lee and Coakley, and now it's Sully time, and he has been delivering at both ends. A great player in his own right, and he'll need to be that well because he's playing against a pretty good player on the other side.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers are playing excellent right now. The 5-game winning streak coincides with Lamonte Bearden back at the starting point guard spot.
Yeah, as I alluded to earlier, they put Lamonte Bearden in the lineup, and he has been a real difference maker. Look at those numbers over the last 5 games. 39 assists to just 5 turnovers. That is a stabilizing force at an area where they had trouble taking care of the ball. No longer the case. He delivers the package where it needs to be to the bigs in the paint, and he can score himself in transition as well as on the half court. Just a terrific ball handler and player overall.
It's a really fun guard matchup because Zach Bryant is electric with the ball in his hand.
You better be able to get down and guard the dribble, even though he can splash it from downtown as well, but he also gets the ball to people in scoring position. Nearly 5 assists a game. Just a dynamite player in his own right. Taking it to the goal, though, is the thing he does best. And he'll go left, he'll go right. He finishes strong at the rim. Kind of has a football player's body and a football player's mentality, getting it to the rim.
So those are some of the key pieces here today, but for the absence for Western Kentucky, let's head back over to Kristen Balboni.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. Unfortunately, head coach Rick Stansberry will miss this game. It's his 4th straight missed game due to that back injury. He had surgery on his back yesterday. I'm told that it went well, and he expects a very quick recovery. I think they're in good hands with assistant coach Shue at the helm. They've won the 3 games that he has been at the helm for this team. We certainly wish Coach Stansberry all the best, Mike.
Yeah, amen to that, Kristen. We talked with Mark Shue today. He said the only change for him, a whole lot less sleep right now as the head coach.
Yeah, you know, when you get that hot seat, you know, and I've been an assistant coach, and every assistant coach wants to be in that seat at some point. But sometimes it's a be careful for what you wish for, because that seat can be very hot and it can be a lot of pressure, but he has handled it very well. And as a result, Western, and to me, one of the obviously the most talented team in Conference USA. And now that they're playing well, it's a great time of year to be playing well, I tell you that.
Those are the starting lineups for UAB. Note that Anderson McCoy gets another start. He's a preferred walk-on. Got his first career start on Thursday in that win. And for Western Kentucky, we've gone all this way. We haven't even mentioned Charles Bassey's name yet.
How about that? That is hard to do, right?
There's Robert Eason, his third season at the helm. You said it, they were 6-2. They went on the losing skid, but a big win at Marshall on Thursday, and still plenty to play for UAB here in front of a sellout crowd.
Zach Bryant stole that tip because Charles Bassey had it right away. He tipped it to a teammate, but Bryant came in and stole it.
Well, right out of the gates, Lewis Sullivan has the first bucket, the redshirt senior from Hazel Green, Alabama, who had 16 and 10 on Thursday. And the Hilltoppers turn it over not even 30 seconds in.
Miscommunication there, nothing to panic about. But a great start for the Blazers to stop at one end. As you see Coach Eason, and they got Lewis Sullivan. And Sullivan as a fifth-year player, he plays like a fifth-year guy. He's always in the right position. He's anticipating. He understands the game, and you can see it really pay dividends night in and night out.
Jared Savage took it away. This is Lamonte Bearden. No, Hollingsworth can't follow.
And those two guards, man, Bearden and Hollingsworth, they're electric in transition. Didn't get it to go that time, but a couple of crazy shots.
Maktar Gay can step out and shoot it. He's coming off a double-double as well, and Charles Bassey ripped down the board.
Yeah, Maktar Gay, number 5 for the Blazers, has been really good of late. They'll need him to be good tonight.
Gay came over to double Bassey, and loose ball squirted underneath. And on the baseline, a foul is called.
Yep.
They get it on Anderson McCoy, the redshirt junior guard.
You can already tell the energy level is extremely high at both ends for both teams right now. We got another electric crowd here in Bowling Green as well.
This game has been sold out for weeks, and it is truly packed for this one.
2-3 zone now deployed.
Savage can shoot it, but he missed it. Bryant may be the fastest guard in the conference. Here's McCoy.
And the walk on McCoy, not shy early, squeezing the trigger, and that's how you got to play. They put you in the starting lineup, play with confidence.
He played 19 minutes in that first career start in Thursday's game, and a huge part of the reason he was in there was to try to disrupt John Elmore of Marshall.
And he brings energy. Coach Rob Eason told us he's never seen his bench. He hadn't seen his bench so energized in a long time.
Josh Anderson couldn't hit with the shot clock winding down, and it's 2 minutes and 2 combined points so far.
So Western deploying man-to-man, but we'll see them play some zone here through parts of this game as well. They'll mix it up.
This is Jeremiah Bell, the transfer from Milwaukee, and now McCoy. It's the ball screen from Gay.
Gay will have an advantage over whoever is guarding him.
Shot clock violation. Gay and Sullivan didn't get it off in time.
Sullivan just not aware of the shot clock. And give credit to the people in this building. They make it difficult. It was loud. And it was, I mean, take a look. They're up against the shot clock. And Sullivan's pump fake, he had to shoot it right there. And as a result, another turnover by the Blazers.
Western Kentucky 16 and 10 overall, 9 and 4 in Conference USA because they've won 8 out of 9. And the lid's still on the bucket for the Toppers.
What a difference a few weeks make. You know, I mean, UAB was sitting at the top of Conference USA at 6-2. Conversely, Western was struggling. We were wondering if they were even going to win another game the way they were playing at times.
Well, Bassey just saved it under his own hoop, and it's a fresh 30 for UAB.
Nice move.
Bell on the scoop. Nicely done.
He got hit in the mouth Thursday, played just 14 minutes, 0 for 2, grad transfer from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, cashing it in at the bucket.
Yeah, that was his first scoreless game of the season, a senior who averages about 8.5 per. Here's Hollingsworth, who's been up and down offensively with the shot this year.
Yeah, he's been extremely inconsistent and streaky.
Way off the mark, and the rebound to UAB.
And he was out here earlier, Mike, working on that jump shot and working on the shot he just took. But right there, he didn't even seem very comfortable shooting that.
Sullivan can pick and pop from long range, and the foul comes on the floor. It's a pretty nice take we saw from Jeremiah Bell.
Yeah, Jeremiah Bell off of a scramble, loose ball, or rather offensive rebound, and you have to stay down on these shot fakes or these guards will wax you off the dribble. Both Bell and Jalen Perry coming off the bench now, the senior, and Zach Bryant.
And what did Robert Eason tell us just a little while ago? He said our guards have to be really good to come here and get a win.
They do. And you got to handle it. You got to handle the pressure. You got to handle the noise. You got to keep people organized. And you got to knock down some shots on the perimeter.
Akhtar Gage just picked up his first foul, setting the illegal screen.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to blitz this dribble. Well, actually, no, he's just trying to get through a handoff here. Take a look. And then he moved. And that's more of a brush screen, and you can get away with that a lot, but your body has to be turned in the correct angle.
Anderson finally starts the scoring for the Hilltopper.
Josh Anderson, of course, a crowd favorite and a Sports Center favorite at times. I love it when he gets a step at the rim.
Offensive foul call.
And see,
so on 2 possessions, that's 2, Tim.
And they're deliberately going to Gay on the inside. Look for that, number 5. He's going to get his share of touches on the post.
Well, Kristen, it's been an energized building so far. We got a lot going on today.
Yes, we do. Talk about energized. Check these bad boys out now, Mike, Tim. Don't be jealous that I was given the lightsaber and you weren't. I will share afterwards. I've heard Tim is a big Star Wars fan, but these were given to the first 1,000 fans that came here today. As we said, this is a sold-out arena here tonight. I've heard there were some stormtroopers out there earlier. I missed my chance to get a picture with them, but certainly hoping that I get to do that a little bit later. I love a good prop, so I'm having fun. It was very cool to see all of those lightsabers light up during the opening with the players were announced. They always do it big here in Western Kentucky. Big fan of those lightsabers. And also, we're having a lot of fun on Facebook. I got all your comments right here. Brian says, let's go Tops from Louisville. Ross is cheering for the Tops as well from Louisville. It sounds like Louisville's where the party is at. Jeremy says, go Blazers. Keyshawn, he says his little brother is playing for UAB. James says, go Tops from Prospect, Kentucky. Andrew is in Lexington. Carolyn is in Rough River. Kenneth is in Old Orchard Beach, Maine. So we got tons of people checking in. Love to see where all of you guys are rooting, where you're watching from, and who you are rooting for. And don't forget, you can also post on Instagram, hashtag UABVSWKU. I'm waiting for those Hilltopper pictures of their pets enclosed because it always happens. So keep the comments coming. Keep the Instagram pictures coming. Can't wait to see what you guys got for us.
Yeah, good stuff, Kristen. We do have a lightsaber over here. Tim is not to be denied when it comes to
I had to get a lightsaber. Of course, I have 2 small kids. I only have 1 lightsaber, so they'll have to share it. But, you know,
what did you say earlier about sharing the ball?
Sharing is caring. This is a red lightsaber. I think that means the evil, right? I think the good Jedis are green, so I need a green one. I'm not evil. I'm a good guy.
It's been fun so far. Like we said, the first 1,000 fans got one of them. Tim, lucky enough to be included in that group. And for all we've talked about this matchup being so important, certainly for UAB, slow start offensively for both teams.
Yeah, and that'll happen in an environment like this. You come out, of course, you're really jacked up and excited to play in this type of environment on the road if you're the Blazers. But both teams will settle down, and then, you know, the better team will start to pull away as the game plays on.
Here's Jared Savage back out for Anderson, who knocked down a couple threes on Thursday. That's been part of his evolution in his sophomore season.
And people have been daring him to shoot, but now I notice they're really contesting his three-point shots because he has been hitting those shots.
Taven Lovin had his pass deflected. Jalen Perry on the drive, a guy who's now coming off the bench these last few games with McCoy in the starting lineup.
And that has to be a mental adjustment. And obviously you have to check your ego at the door when you come off the bench as a senior. But he has been good about it. Was solid on Thursday and already off to a good start off the bench for Rob Eson's team.
And UAB back quickly. Bryant lays it in.
What did I say at the top, Mike? You better be able to break down and guard the dribble. This team is electric. Going to the hoop.
And one of the great nicknames that we're going to get into, Zach Scooty Bryant, the sophomore guard, is so fun to watch.
Oh, don't be careless.
Hollingsworth tried to wrestle it back, and it will belong to the Blazers.
And that should have been a foul on Tavion Hollingsworth, in my opinion. But take a look at the split of the double. Changes hands in midair. Great hesitation. You have to stop the ball. Both those guards, Lamonte Bearden and Tavion Hollingsworth, a no-no right there.
Well, Mark Shue takes the timeout. Can't like what he has seen so far with the Hilltoppers. Couple turnovers, and they've opened up 1 of 9 shooting. Meanwhile, UAB needing a win, needing some help as well from FIU. Looking to get the job done on the road. Hey, you can have exclusive access to the best matchups, stories, and features when you subscribe to Stadium Plus. Gain access to 500 premium events, including college football, basketball, and baseball. Go to watchstadium.com/stadium-plus/ or just Google Stadium Plus and click on the link to learn how to subscribe. That's what Zach Bryant did on Thursday. He had a behind-the-back layup working on Rondell Watson. That's part of the athleticism and the electricity you see when he has the ball in his hand.
Yeah, super skilled guard and athletic as well. When they're playing to their strengths, they're awfully difficult.
Tamel Pearson, the freshman big, couldn't get the reverse to go.
And that was the presence of Charles Bassey. Even though he wasn't in a position to block, it made Pearson think twice.
Bassey on the block. His first pull.
And there's just no stopping. There's nobody in Conference USA that's going to stop him when he catches the ball 5 feet from the basket. He's just too skilled, too big, too strong.
We've heard from Hilltoppers fans this season. Do you think he needs even more touches for Western Kentucky?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, does it? Good things happen when you play through him.
Oh, he's running the floor.
Great hands.
Kicked it back out. Jake Omer.
And Omer has been a little inconsistent with that shot. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities, and it's really difficult when you don't get the volume of shots. But he's a three-point specialist at times, not really knocking it down at the clip that he would like, and certainly his coaching staff would like.
Great hustle by Jeremiah Bell to get to the loose ball. It leads to a Perry triple.
And Omer has only taken 12 shots all season, and 11 of those are from downtown. He's shooting a solid 34%. But to me, I'd like to see him get more touches and more shots.
Well, he feeds the post this time, and Bassey's got a couple buckets.
And you don't see a lot of back-to-the-basket play, certainly not at the mid-major level, really not even at the NBA level anymore, because everyone's playing open post. But everyone doesn't have a Charles Bassey. That guy is a monster in the paint.
Hey, Matthew Vincent chimed in. He asked during the next timeout, can we get them to take the lid off the baskets? Bassey's starting to get that going.
Great hustle.
That was Hollingsworth who got his hand in there with the shot clock winding down. An excellent defensive possession for Western Kentucky.
It was, and Western never came up with a full possession, so that shot clock kept running. So during that scramble, the Blazers ran out of time. Take a look. This is a pass that normally is going to be a layup, but thanks to Tavion Hollingsworth hustle, covering back down against the pass, he deflected it and forced that turnover. And you see Savage with the fist pump. That was a solid defensive possession that time for Western.
And Robert Eason fired up on the sideline.
Ronald Blanton there, number 20, was starting as a point guard, 6'8", coming off the bench now.
And a foul in the post goes on Tamel Pearson, trying to hang with a fellow freshman in Charles Bassey. So it's been about the defense so far. 11-6 is the UAB lead. Just over 8 minutes in, Kristen Balboni.
about Anderson McCoy getting the start today for the Blazers. This was his second start. He got his first career start against Marshall, played 19 minutes. Coach Isan told us he's really the heartbeat of this team, and he was very excited to give him that second start here today. And there's a really, really sweet video that UAB posted on their Instagram of all of the teammates celebrating him in the locker room after that first start of his career. It's just very cool. You'd love to see that from the teammates. He got a scholarship in August of 2017 from Coach Isan after being a walk-on, and he's one of those guys, as Coach Isan said, really the heartbeat of the team. He's tough. He's an innate leader, and you guys both noticed how tough he played in that game against Marshall. You were talking about that technical that he got. Well, talk to us about that one.
Yeah, it's not often, Chris, and you see walk-on get a start, knock down a three-pointer, get the bow and arrow going into the crowd, and then promptly get teed up.
And to me, that was Thursday, which was Valentine's Day. He was being Cupid, right? He did the Cupid bow and arrow. Now, the problem is he pointed it at someone. But to me, knocking down that three, I say let him play. He's a walk-on. He's not getting a lot of playing time his whole career. Now, all of a sudden, he's thrust into duty, and he hits a big shot at a big moment. Let him have a little fun.
And then on the flip side of it, we've seen Jalen Perry coming off the bench. He did score in double figures on Thursday, and Robert Isan said, yeah, they liked what they got out of him in that new role.
It's a risky move, though, because if he goes in there and McCoy stinks it up, the fan base will start saying, man, I guess they're just cashing in the rest of this season. Coach Isan has given up. But because McCoy played well and Perry played well, now it looks like a brilliant move, and I think it was in the end because it electrified the team. Both players are giving more productivity. They got a road win, and now they're headed in the right direction, although they have their hands full with a very good Western Kentucky team here in Bowling Green,
which has just 6 points in 8+ minutes here at home.
Staying in that zone now. They got to do a good job of boxing out number 23, Bassey, off the missed shots.
And remember, Maktar Gay already has 2 fouls, so he has been on the bench. And the foul on the perimeter that time is on Tyreek Scott Grayson, the sophomore from New Jersey.
And most coaches will sit a guy no matter what. They get that second foul. They don't want him to get that third foul in the first half. So this is going to be a good chunk of time where we probably won't see Maktar Gay. And he had been playing very well of late.
Yeah, UAB with Robert Isan at the helm, not one of the teams that is pretty flexible with that in letting guys go with 2 first-half fouls. Garrett Savage, boy, he's got a smooth stroke, but he missed that one.
But Taven Lovin was great on the contest, and Lovin had a big game the other night. He's playing basically with a broken left hand, number 3 for the Blazers. But he is a very effective player. It gives them another element of athleticism.
He's a local guy as well. He's on the offensive board, and he backs it out.
On display.
Scott Grayson too strong, and Omer gets to the miss. Banton, the 6'8" guard with the dump off to Bassey.
And Banton has been terrific at times, and he's been not so terrific at times. But coming off the bench now, he's settled down a little bit. They play him in multiple positions, but that was a great decision right there to drop it off to Bassey,
who has 6 of the 8 for the Hilltoppers, and traveling the call on Lovin.
You have to keep this team out of transition if you're the Blazers, because they have players that can do this right here. Great delivery at the bucket. The big fella running the floor. Banton at 6'8", body control galore. A couple of bodies flying, but really no foul there. Now Coach Shue calling out a specific play.
Deflected out by Zach Bryant.
And Tolo Smith right there, another young player coming off the bench at 6'10" himself. Doesn't get it quite. If he was on another team, he'd be playing a lot, but he's backing up Charles Bassey. So you're not going to play as much as he would if he had selected a different school, but he gives them solid minutes in the post.
He didn't get it on the pick and roll. Now Banton does find him. Smith goes up with it, doesn't get the roll. And it's back to the Blazers.
Tim Gaddis made a very unpopular call for this crowd.
Let's have another look.
And Tolu Smith right there smokes that layup away, and that clearly is off of the Blazers, in my opinion. And we're going the other way.
Scott Grayson looking for somewhere to go. He finds Sullivan, who we heard his brother is watching this one. Back iron and the rebound, Smith.
Well, that's Lewis Sullivan basketball right there. He got a great post up, ducked in, got the ball where he wanted, couldn't catch it in.
Savage and the Toppers still cold from beyond the arc, 0 of 6 as a team.
And the three-point shot is not the bread and butter. It's not their forte. But Savage is the one guy that is knocking it down at a fairly high clip. He's got 64 makes on the season.
Lovin draws a foul inside.
You know, we had a game earlier with Savage, was 1 for 10 over the course of the game. In overtime versus UTSA, he had 2 or 3 three-pointers that were just huge. And I talked to him after the game. How do you keep your confidence after going 1 for 10? I mean, I probably wouldn't have taken another shot.
Hey, if you're looking for more great content from schools like the national champs, Clemson on the football side, and some of the top-ranked schools in college hoops, you can follow at the ACCDN on Instagram and watch recaps of every ACC men's basketball game right here on Facebook. And Savage is a guy who's so important because despite that you mentioned, he has shot it well this year, and he's averaging 13, and he is such a leader for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, he's a steadying factor as well. Solid defensive player, too. Transfer from Austin Peay from Bowling Green. So he's right at home. 2-3 now again by the Blazers.
Omer lets fly. Short, couldn't get to his own miss. Here comes Lovin. He is dangerous in the open floor, and he lays it in.
Man, that was a strong move. Great step through by Lovin.
He's from about a half hour southwest of here, and so he's got a ton of fans here. He had to set aside about 20 tickets to accommodate everyone.
And that's great when you get to play in front of your family, of course, but just playing in front of people that live close to you, that's a great opportunity.
Anderson.
Whoa.
At its strip, Tolu Smith, both of them looking for fouls. There's Bell on the pull-up in the mid-range.
The UAB, quite simply, are getting better looks at the basket than Western is right now. This zone has not been cracked so far for Robert Eson's team. They have been terrific.
Bearden does not get the roll on the floater.
Wow.
And that's a look that you'll take, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you certainly will. And you want to split the defense when you're going up against the zone. You want to attack those gaps. That's what he did. The shot just didn't go.
It's now more than 3 minutes without points for Western Kentucky. And UAB up 8 with under 8 to go until halftime. Sullivan on the fall away.
Sully with the little fall away. That was brilliant. Great left, great touch by Sully.
Got off to quite the fast start Thursday at Marshall. He was effective late in the game, had a big pick and pop 3 that he knocked down. He was good all night in that road win.
5th-year senior.
Omer. Rebound Lovin, and now it's 0 of 8 from three-point range for the Hilltoppers.
And again, it's just not their forte, but you have the right guy shooting it. You want Omer to shoot it. You want Jake Savage shooting him. But so far in the early going, at least, they haven't been able to find that mark.
Shot clock below 10. This is Jeremiah Bell driving on Omer. Offensive foul. So the shot not falling for Jake Omer, but a good defensive possession.
Yep.
18-10 is the UAB lead with 6:38 to go in this first half.
is going to make a layup, a free throw.
Well, Kristen, what more you got for us?
Oh, I got plenty, Mike, that's for sure. Remember, we told you guys that you could see yourself on this broadcast if you wanted to by posting on Instagram. All you got to do is use that hashtag UABVSWKU, and we have already got some. I told you that the Hilltopper fans love to post pictures of their dogs. So this is Holden with his dogs. He says they're not worried about this game, the way that the score is going right now. And then we also have Andrew as well with his two little ones watching the game, mom and dad's alma mater. So keep those pictures coming. We love to see them. Again, that hashtag is UABVSWKU. Now, another thing that we love to do during these Facebook games is get input from you on a variety of topics. We call this thumbs up, thumbs down. I guess you can imagine how it works. We're going to ask you a question. If you think it's true, you say thumbs up. If you don't, you say thumbs down. So Charles Bassey going into this game, 12 double-doubles, just one of 2 freshmen in the nation with that many double-doubles. He's got 6 points and 4 rebounds right now. My question to you guys and everyone who's watching at home, is he going to get his 13th double-double here today? Tim, what do you say?
Oh, book it, without a doubt. He's already got 4 rebounds. Now, Gay is in foul trouble actually kind of helps that because there's more rebounds to get. And the fact that they're throwing up a lot of bricks, there's more rebounds to get. So, yes, I think the double-double is in the books.
I got a thumbs up as well. And, hey, if Western Kentucky starts knocking down some of the threes, that's going to pull the defense out and make things even easier on the inside.
Great point. I thought I was the analyst. What are you doing?
I'm also going thumbs up. I don't have a lot of thumbs between my clipboard and my microphone right now, but thumbs up for me as well. And I can only imagine once I check in on Facebook, all the thumbs up we're going to be seeing from those Hilltopper fans, guys.
Well, Charles Bassey averages 14 points, 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he actually averages a double-double.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he does, yeah, it's another day at the office for him, right?
Well, look at this. These are the only freshmen in the country averaging double-doubles this season.
Man, that is remarkable. And look at that. The number that jumps off the page for me besides the rebound is the 63% field goal percentage. When you throw it in there, it's money in the bank.
Heavy minutes for Bassey here in this first half. And again, Maktar Gay still on the sideline for UAB, which leads by 10 here on the road.
Now
Just
UAB
tuning into this one, Tim.
Uh-oh.
It's a big one for UAB, and that's a big slam from Josh Anderson.
And UAB went man-to-man on that possession. And let's just say they'll probably go zone the next possession. Josh Anderson with the step.
You said he's a highlight waiting to happen. Bell. Bearden tried to thread it through to Bassey.
Just put a little too much heat on that pass.
It's a rare turnover recently. Anderson with a block on Bryant. Things opening up, and Savage off the spin.
Sometimes these guys can get it going because of their athleticism. Take a look. The first step, the two-hand finish by Anderson, a Sports Center highlight, walking, and then the block. He can block that with his armpit, and it's not pretty. And there's a lot of spinning and whirling, but in the end, a 360 layup by Savage caps off a quick run, and Rob Eason from UAB saw enough of that show.
Well, Mark Shue told us earlier that sleep has been at a premium because he's been going through in his head all these permutations that he has to worry about as the interim head coach. I don't think that's anywhere in there, that sequence we just saw.
Those are the types of plays that will keep you up at night because you don't know how they're going to end. But fortunately for them, a terrific athletic play by Savage capped it and forced the timeout from UAB.
Yeah, those 2 buckets and what had been a 7-0 scoring run for UAB. Scott Grayson had it stripped.
Man, you got to stay away from these live ball turnovers. Look how quickly they turn that turnover into points.
Bearden spinning, floating, and scoring.
Apparently somebody pressed the spin cycle button here in Bowling Green.
and it will stay with UAB, but all the momentum on the side of the Toppers.
The spin has been working. This isn't politics, but there's a lot of spin out there right now. And that was a terrific move by Lamonte Bearden. But it starts with a deflection at the defensive end. Secondary break is run. The defense can't set up, and they take advantage of a terrific move by Bearden. And at this end, UAB has been a little careless with the basketball, and as a result, they find themselves now in a dogfight.
Zach Bryant puts a stop to the momentum for Western Kentucky.
And that's what you do when you're having trouble scoring. Get it into the hands of a guy who can slash and get to the rim under control and finish.
Bassey with a chance for three.
There's just no defense for this. You can't, the defense is don't let them catch it this close. If you're going to play behind, you better push him away from the block. But in my opinion, you should play 3/4 on top or front him and make them throw a more difficult pass over you.
One of the best big men in the entire country stamps a three-point play.
He's got a terrific skill set, and there's obviously talk of him being a one and done. Personally, because I cover Western Kentucky, I'd love to see him stay. But if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's showing the NBA a lot in terms of his skill set.
Lovin in the mid-range, short. Bearden pushes.
Look at him.
Finds Bassey.
Oh.
And Bassey will go to the free throw line.
But you have to be impressed with how quickly he gets down court. He just sprints by everyone. A great delivery at the basket, and he tried to murder it. Lewis Sullivan breaks it up in a pretty solid defensive play, but tagged with a personal as he got him behind on the head.
That's 2 fouls now on Sullivan.
So now Gay and Sullivan in a bit of foul trouble. And Sully goes to the bench now. So the Blazers a lot smaller. Look for Western Kentucky to try to take advantage of that, as they have been throwing it in there all night long to Charles Bassey.
You talked about how he can still be a true back-to-the-basket type of player that is becoming increasingly rare in this game. He's got the skill as well. He's better than 75% at the free throw line.
Yeah, solid free throw shooter, and he's hit 9 of 17 three-point attempts as well. Just a terrific skill set.
AC Pitt says UAB is playing a little sloppy right now. Those turnovers have started to climb late in this first half.
Travel.
There's another on Jeremiah Bell.
You never want to turn it over, but at least that one wasn't a live ball turnover because they have been cashing it in at the other end.
So the momentum on the side of Western Kentucky within one, Kristen.
Yeah, now, one of the things I love about coming here at Western Kentucky is all of the cool stuff. We can hear the fans right now. We know this arena is a lot of fun. They've got this really cool thing over on the sidewall. I don't know if you guys saw this, and it's called How Do You Measure Up, right as you walk into the arena. So, of course, I had to go see how I measured up, and spoiler alert, guys, not well for playing basketball. That's me compared to a center. I don't think I have a future as a center in college athletics. I hate to break it to
Look
myself.
at that wingspan, though.
The hands aren't quite there for being able to palm a basketball. But who knows? Maybe I'll hit a very late growth spurt at some point. So this was tough for me, but it's really cool to have that right outside. It's much better suited for a guy like Tim Scarborough. Sure, he'd fit right there with that guard. But I did find there is something that I fit perfectly, and that is that maybe one day I could have a shot of being Big Red. I think I'm perfectly mascot size, and you guys know I love Big Red with a passion. I think he's
I could see you being Big Red.
I don't have the moves. I will say this. Big Red has some really great moves. If you watch him, you guys have seen it. I mean, he can dance. I maybe not so much.
Well, if you can't dance, then no. But you definitely have the right features, if you will. Not that you look like a mascot.
You got the pirouettes down. You had the balance there. And I'll tell you what, that costume today, probably pretty hot inside there right now with the
yeah,
out here at Diddle.
I would never want to get in a mascot's costume.
Coming from from someone who's done it before, as bad as it sounds. It is warm in there.
Oh, that does sound bad.
So it's been an awesome atmosphere today. Another sellout crowd. It's been sold out for a few months. So many of these fans getting a look at Charles Bassey as they've been able to. For all of his fresh season to this point, he's already into double figures again. He's got 11, the rest of the team with just 8.
If I lived in Bowling Green, I'd be rushing over here to see him because he ain't going to be here very long. To me, they're talking one and done. Again, I'd love to see him stay, but there's going to be a team or two that's going to be very interested in what he has to offer. I mean, he's got size, athleticism, agility, great hands, a knowledge of the game.
Pretty good footwork as well.
Terrific footwork. Just a solid basketball player, and there's no one in Conference USA and few people around the country who can stop him.
So Western Kentucky now in front, up by 1 with just over 3 left until halftime.
And UAB has only themselves to blame because they had a chance to kind of put some distance between them. Oh, another jumper there. That was big.
Boy, Bryant rises up. He's only a 29% three-point shooter. If he has that part of his game going as well, he's so dangerous.
But the Hilltoppers were reeling at one point. It was 18 to 8, and they looked like they couldn't find the basket. But now the floodgates have opened.
They have for Charles Bassey. He is up to 15 points for the Toppers.
Well, there's just nobody on the floor right now because Lewis Sullivan, a guy that can handle him to some point, at least slow him down, is on the bench with 2 fouls. And Gay is on the bench with 2 fouls, Maktar Gay. So they just need to get to half and get the services of some of those bigs back.
It's a held ball, and the arrow will send it back to Western Kentucky.
And Western has been solid at the defensive end, particularly with getting deflections and getting their hands on the ball. And then you see right there, Josh Anderson tying up Perry.
Well, so you talked about this, how you would defend Charles Bassey. You said get high side more and front him as well.
Well, you just can't give him a free pass. It's similar to a quarterback. You're going to give him a passing angle and not put pressure on him. Then he's going to have a window to throw the ball, so you want to shorten that window and make the pass a little tough. And you do that by playing 3/4 around or fronting.
Scooty Bryant finds Lovin. Don't let fly. And connects. Just his 3rd three-point make of the season. So from Bryant, and now Lovin getting going for you.
Yeah, how about that? Just his 3rd make. But he shot that with confidence, didn't he?
Bearden called for a travel first.
He would have been called for a charge as well.
That's probably a better result in Western Kentucky.
It's still a turnover, but you don't get a personal. But take a look. A little bit out of control. Great job of sealing off the drive. He took an extra step. Probably an ill-advised drive that time. And that's what Lamonte and Bearden will do a lot of good things, but at times they'll make a poor decision like that. But again, the good far outweighs the bad with him. He's been a steadying force since being in the starting lineup.
Scooty Bryant hangs and rolls it in.
He's just got another level of height that he can jump that other people can't.
He's up to a team-high 9 points and averages about 14.5. Hollingsworth can't answer. Bassey nearly tipped it home a couple times. Fresh 30 in the final minute. Savage rises. He is still cold. Good job by Pearson battling on the boards to draw a foul on Charles Bassey.
Savage had an opportunity to dump that in to Bassey too. But take a look at the drive by Bryant. The lane opens up like the Red Sea. And take a look at how he just hangs in the air and waits for the other guys to kind of start descending. He's still going up. Terrific layup by Bryant.
He's got UAB back up by 5. Brian was chiming in on Facebook. He thought the Blazers needed to score more when Western Kentucky had its offense dry up. That was their window to crack it open.
And I agree. That's what I was talking about. They missed their chance.
Bell misses. Savage the rebound with a very slight difference between game and shot clocks.
The zone has been good to the Blazers, though, for the most part. Now they can hold for one.
Bassey, too strong. There's time for UAB.
And that was an ill-advised shot by Charles Bassey.
Bell kicks it out. Bryant. And that will do it for a low-scoring but high-energy first half here at Dental Arena.
Yeah, but, you know, there was a bad decision there, but the Blazers have an opportunity with the lead to really get this thing going in the second half, but they got to take care of the basketball.
Well, Kristen is standing by with Robert Eson.
Coach, low scoring first half, but you guys come away with a 5-point lead. What'd you see from your guys here?
Well, I think we did a good job of guarding them early in the game and trying to make them take outside shots and trying to protect the paint.
All right, well, Charles Bassey, 15 of those points for Western Kentucky on 6 of 7 shooting. How do you slow him down in the second half?
Well, there's a reason that everybody has him being a lottery pick in the NBA draft, because he's that good. We have to try to maybe bring more guys at him and try to just bother him with double teams and stuff like that.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for the time. Guys, back to you.
Thank you both. 28-23 is the UAB lead against Western Kentucky here
I would love
in
to see
Bowling
it.
Green. Coming up, we'll check in with Maddie Morris, who will take us through everything going on in Conference USA this past week.
Maddie Morris here inside the Conference USA studio. After another exciting weekend of Conference USA men's and women's basketball and a great opening weekend for Conference USA softball, let's take a look at this past week's Conference USA Player of the Week Awards presented by Top of the World. After helping their teams finish the weekend with 2-0 records in hard-fought battles, this week's Player of the Week award goes to UTSA Roadrunner, while the Freshman of the Week award is yet again Charles Bassey from WKU. For the second week in a row, UTSA's Keaton Wallace is named the Player of the Week. The sophomore guard gains recognition once again after posting back-to-back 20-plus point scoring performances as the Roadrunners hosted FIU and Florida Atlantic. Wallace started the week hot on Thursday, shooting 11 of 13 from the field and 5 of 6 from beyond the arc for 27 points in the 100-67 win over the Panthers. He then fell just shy of a double-double in Saturday's win over FAU, dropping 24 points while grabbing 8 rebounds. Over his last 5 outings, Wallace is averaging 30.2 points a game, while overall this season, he ranks 3rd amongst USA players with 21 points a game. And for the 3rd week in a row and the 7th time this season, Charles Bassey from WKU is awarded the Freshman of the Week honor. The freshman center continues to take Conference USA by storm in his first year suiting up for the Hilltoppers, averaging a double-double for the 3rd straight week with 14 points, 10.5 boards, and 4.5 blocks. He started the weekend scoring 10 points, grabbing 14 boards, and tying his career high with 5 blocks in Thursday's 92-85 double overtime win at Rice. He then turned around and led WKU in scoring with 18 points, along with 7 rebounds and 4 blocks in a hard-fought 62-59 win at North Texas. Bassey leads all CUSA players in rebounding with 10.2 boards a contest and ranks 2nd amongst players in field goal percentage, averaging 63.4% from the field. After some incredible performances in women's basketball this weekend, 2 players actually share the Player of the Week honor, while an Old Dominion Monarch takes home the Freshman of the Week award. Rice's Erica Agwumake backed up last week's Player of the Week honor with another stellar weekend performance, earning her a share of this week's Player of the Week award. The junior guard recorded back-to-back double-double performances while shooting 59.3% in victories over WKU and Marshall. She started the weekend off dropping 22 points and grabbing 13 rebounds in the 68-46 win over the Lady Toppers, then followed that up with a 21-point, 10-board performance in the 79-67 win over the Thundering Herd. Agwumake now has recorded double-doubles in 7 of her last 9 games, and her 13 total on the season leads Conference USA. Louisiana Tech's Kira Anthony shares the Player of the Week honor with Agwumake after her incredible performance in the 106-85 victory over Southern Miss. The senior guard poured in 45 points while shooting 19 of 30 from the field and 4 of 5 from the long range. The 45 points marks the 6th highest total in CUSA history, and Anthony alone owns 6 of the top 8 single-game performances by a CUSA player this season. Additionally, the 19 field goals made is a new Conference USA single game record. Besides her offensive output, Anthony also tallied 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 steals in the victory. And for the 3rd time this season, Asia Wayne from Old Dominion is awarded the Freshman of the Week honor. The freshman guard recorded back-to-back double-digit scoring performances as the Monarchs hosted UAB and Middle Tennessee. Wayne tallied 18 points and 7 rebounds in Thursday's game against the Blazers, but proved to be instrumental in Saturday's 70-65 win over the Lady Raiders. She not only contributed on offense, scoring 17 points, but defensively she grabbed 8 rebounds and held Middle Tennessee's leading scorer, Aqueen Hayes, to just 6 points. She finished the weekend averaging 17.5 points, 7.5 boards, 3.5 assists, and 4 steals while shooting 52% from the field. And after an exciting opening weekend of Conference USA softball, let's take a look at who takes home the first weekly awards of the season. UTEP freshman outfielder Casey Flores is named the Player of the Week after hitting a staggering .643 with 3 home runs, 9 hits, 10 RBI, and 7 runs scored in her first 4 games of her collegiate career. Louisiana Tech senior Crystal De La Cruz is named the Pitcher of the Week after going 2-0 with a 1.27 ERA, while limiting 17th ranked Auburn and Missouri State batters to hit just 162 against her. She allowed just 6 hits in 11 innings pitched, with 2 walks and 8 strikeouts in the 2 wins. And make sure to tune into our Conference USA Facebook page every Monday at 3 p.m. Central for our live Player of the Week announcement presented by Top of the World. For Conference USA, I'm Maddie Morris.
The Scribblers, Sketchers, Doodlers, powered by Midnight Oil. Under moonlight, they tinker, toil, stop, go, then nothing, then eureka, everything. So who will create a better smartphone? Who'll make the game safer? Who'll develop an unheard of treatment for a rare disease? And then 200 more? UAB, powered by Will.
Hey, basketball fans, don't miss a minute of college basketball and its very best. Here's what happened in 2015.
UAB at 14. That's why they call it March Madness.
In 2016.
Middle Tennessee takes down Michigan State.
Again in 2017.
March Magic again for Middle Tennessee.
And once more in 2018.
March Miracle for Marshall.
Make sure you can say, I saw them play in the conference tournament and knew they could do it.
The flat path is easy, but for the inspired, there is a spirit that kindles a desire to climb higher, to soar, to roll, to reach new heights. The wish to be a part of something more, to do more and to be more. Hilltoppers know that life at the top is worth the climb. Climb with us at Western Kentucky University.
It's halftime here in Bowling Green, Kentucky at Diddle Arena. Hey Pooh, a Stadium original documentary chronicles Derrick Rose's fight for his family at a very young age, becoming the NBA's youngest MVP through the countless number of knee injuries and being told he wasn't wanted in his hometown.
Derrick was 17 years old when he said, I'm gonna save my family. I heard him say this. I said, how you gonna save your family? Watch.
All this was for my fans. To get everything out, get it off my chest.
It's good for you, man, because you never say
Derrick Rose is maybe the best player in America. Unbelievable. Derrick Rose, another steal.
Once he was in the league, it was just different.
We had this amazing kid, an MVP.
If you're an athlete from Chicago, the last thing you want to do is play in Chicago.
As quickly as he exploded, it burned out.
It's the first time that people are going to get to see like the real him.
I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. I want people to feel it. I want it to touch your soul.
It was Chicago's sports civil war.
People wanted to tear him down.
Derek, you suck. Get him out of here. Trade him.
I don't know my story. I don't know where I came from. I don't know any of that. I always was saving my real answers or something bigger, and I feel like this is what I was saving it for.
Too big.
Too strong.
Too fast.
Too good.
Derrick Rose.
Yeah, you may think you know the whole story, but you have no idea. Tune into Stadium on April 11th for the premiere of Pooh Stadium. Welcome to the game. All right, so it's UAB up by 5 at the half on Western Kentucky. Tim Scarborough, Mike Monaco, Kristen Balboni with you here at Diddle Arena. UAB overcame the foul trouble and the turnovers and Charles Bassey to lead by 5.
They're in great shape because, you know, you mentioned the foul trouble. The two guys that got in foul trouble are the guys that are going to slow Bassey down. You're not going to stop him, but at least they'll make it a little bit difficult to get those passes in because when he catches it in close, it's lights out. But you're up 5, and you get the services of both your 2 or your top scorers as well. So if I was Robert Eason, I'd be popping champagne in that locker room right now because that was a terrific first half, all things considering. They had that little stretch where they didn't take care of the basketball, and they kind of cost them a little bit. But being up 5, all things considered, pretty good start.
Well, we've had some of you chiming in on Facebook asking about the standings or the records of these teams. And let's reset the importance of this one on both sides with the pod scheduling, the bonus play in Conference USA this season. Again, if you're in the top 5, you are in that top pod. You are guaranteed to finish the regular season in the top 5, regardless of what happens in your final 4 games. Western Kentucky locked into the top 5. UAB with a win and some help from Florida International could get in the top 5.
Yeah, and it's important because the top 4 teams get a bye in the first round of Conference USA.
Well, here is the bonus play explanation. The 4 games that will start on Saturday. No one's going to play this week on Monday or on Thursday. There's those 3 groups that we told you about, 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 14. And you talked about this earlier, what Robert Eason said to us. If you're one of those bubble teams that's on the fringe, maybe in that 6 or that 7 spot, that can hurt you a little bit.
It can, because even if you leapfrog someone record-wise, they're still going to be seeded higher than you. So let's say Robert Eason doesn't win tonight, they finish 6th, but then they win their last 4 games, and they go in front of North Texas or Southern Miss. North Texas or Southern Miss would still be seeded higher than the 6th-seeded UAB. The best they could do is 6th, and as a result, they'll have to win 4 games instead of 3 to win the championship down in Frisco at the end of the season. So it's a really big deal to get locked out of those top 4 spots, 5 spots, and not get a chance to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, well, let's check out the net rankings as well. And, of course, if you're just tuning in now that we're in February, closer to March, net basically in place of RPI and a different metric. And this is where the teams in Conference USA, some of them stand right now.
And the reason Conference USA is trying this bonus play is because they want the net rankings of their top teams to not go down far just by playing a lower team. You take a look at what Old Dominion, let's say they were ranked 50th, and they played 150 or the 200 team in the conference. Even if they win that game in the past in RPI, their RPI would go down. As a result, it would bring down a team that had a chance at an at-large bid. Now, this eliminates having those, what they call bad wins at the end of the season. But in my opinion, this year, it's not really going to elevate any one team because no team has really kind of gotten themselves away. In the past, we've had Middle Tennessee that's kind of been head and shoulders above everyone else. There's no Middle Tennessee this year in Conference USA, but still some really good basketball teams.
Robert Eason said to us, it has certainly added excitement to this league in these last few weeks. And we've had an exciting first half here at Diddle Arena. Let's check in on some of the highlights from the first half. First on the UAB side, Scooty Bryant did a little bit of everything for the Blazers.
Yeah, I said at the beginning, you better be able to guard the dribble because these guys have handles. Take a look at Bryant shaking and baking and splitting the defense, but then he stepped outside and splashed one right in the eye of Savage. But again, it doesn't take much. A little seam, and he splits the defense, and he can glide to the hoop with the finish. At the other end, though, Charles Bassey was a grown man, one of the youngest players in the nation, but he was one of the most dominant in the paint in the first half, 6 of 8 from the field. When they got him the ball in close, he delivered. A big-time performer, 5-star player out of high school, NBA prospect, and you see that on display. Just a terrific player when he gets it in close.
Yeah, he has 6 of those 10 field goal makes for Western Kentucky. And Tim, we started talking about it. You were just circling it. The turnovers for UAB, despite coughing it up 10 times, and they're a team that does a pretty good job of limiting turnovers. They're still up by 5.
But look at the points in the paint, too. And that's going to continue because even though they're going to get 2 bigs back in Gay and Lewis Sullivan, I don't think they're any match for Charles Bassey. And if you're Mark Shue, you're going to continue to tell your guards to throw it in there. But you have to be able to knock down some perimeter shots. That's one thing Western Kentucky has struggled with this entire season.
Well, before we begin this second half, let's show you our moment of the game this afternoon. The homecoming, King and Court, that's been going on here in Bowling Green, and part of the awesome environment we've had for this one.
All dressed up and somewhere to go. There's the winner.
He's dressed pretty well. That's quite the suit.
Natalie Cladd.
Better dressed than us, that's for sure, as we start this second half. Maktar Gay in there, Lewis Sullivan in there for UAB, both with a couple fouls they picked up in the first half. Scooty Bryant was about to turn it over, and Sullivan gets picked up for his 3rd foul, 26 seconds in out of halftime.
And that can't be a good development for Coach Eson. And I would probably have to take him out here, let him get settled. You don't want to get him his 4th foul. The referees kind of gave them a break because that was a late substitution. The officials held the ball for him. But you got to get yourself to the scorer's table if you're Tamel Pearson. They almost didn't let him in.
Get the warm-up off.
Yeah, just get down there. Even if you have your warm-up, as long as you're there, they'll let you strip down in front of them. That didn't sound right, did it?
We carry on. There's a post feed for Bassey, and you got a glimpse of how UAB is going to defend him. They started to shock a couple players toward him. Gay collects the rebound.
Yeah, and that's going to put pressure on Tavion Hollingsworth and Lamonte Bearden and company to hit some shots, maybe not even threes, but some pull-up jumpers from 15 to 16 feet away.
Anderson McCoy got the start, only played the first few minutes of the first half. And he feeds the post to Gay. Stepped in, thought. The crowd here thought it was a block. Gay instead draws a foul.
But this is what the game plan was from the beginning. As you see, the longest active three-point streak. Western with 1,002 now.
Hoping to add another one to the ledger. They've missed their first dozen from beyond the arc.
So that is in jeopardy. And you can't, of course, think about those sorts of things. But, man, you'd hate to see a streak like that end on your watch.
Maktar Gay is a 70% free throw shooter, and he is good on the first for Robert Eson.
And, again, he's been playing well of late, coming off 19 points, 11 rebounds Thursday. 12 and 12 last Saturday versus Charlotte. Huge upside for this kid. Last couple games, 15.5 and 11.5 rebounds.
Finished up his high school years at the same prep school as Charles Bassey in Louisville.
Aspire Academy.
So it's a 7-point game, just over a minute into the second half. Anderson off the skip. Couldn't lay it in with the left hand.
Good job of sealing off that drive. He had a step for a moment, but it closed pretty quickly.
Savage was trying to get around Gay and front him in the post.
And Savage is where they want to attack whoever he's guarding, either Sullivan or Gay. He's been on Gay for the most part when Gay's been in there. And they've been trying to get it to him, but Savage has done a solid job.
That's a 5-inch difference between those two. Here's Pearson, not known for his scoring. The true freshman missed it. Oh. And Gay goes over the back. So Sullivan and Gay both pick up their third fouls within 2 minutes.
And Robert Eson is telling Gay, why? Why are you doing this? You understand, you want him to pursue the basketball, but this is a foul every single time. You can't climb a guy's back. Savage gets a ton of credit, though, for boxing out. So now the two guys who he lost services of in the first half, they are the two guys that get the first fouls. So he's back to the same lineup that he really doesn't want to play.
And again, Robert Eson is pretty strict on when guys get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
He's not going to let him go as much as a Doc Sadler or a Rick Stansbury does.
Yeah, oh yeah, Doc definitely will roll the dice. But, you know, they've only had 4 disqualifications as a result. They nurse the foul situation, do a great job. But Gay is fouled out twice this season.
It's Bearden on Bryant. Bell off the bounce. Good hands from Bearden. Lovin follows it up. Doesn't get the teardrop. Anderson at the controls. Look out in the open court. And the foul.
Josh Anderson at times is the most exciting player in Conference USA. And right there, it's on display. Take a look. He gets the rebound under control in transition. And just a scoop shot at the rim in traffic. And McCoy was there and in position, but he was too deep. He was inside that arc. And as a result, he picks up the foul, and Anderson has a chance for the three-point play.
And this feels like, Tim, an appropriate time to remind the fans out there that that guy, Josh Anderson, is playing with a broken nose from 3+ weeks ago at Southern Miss. He started the game Thursday here against Middle Tennessee with the mask. He ditched it, and he played really well in the second half.
And he doesn't have the mask on now. In this sophomore class, Hollingsworth has broken his nose twice. Jake Omer, 21, on the bench, has broken his nose as well. They've all had that mask on.
UAB has experienced that this season as well.
I'm just glad I'm not a sophomore.
Yeah, no kidding. Shot clock at 4 for Bryant.
Tough shot.
Well defended by Hollingsworth. Bassey clears it with his 5th rebound. Bearden, another one of his floaters. That one goes.
It's a bit unconventional, but it works.
Again, Bearden has been so important in the 5-game winning streak, during which he has averaged 13 points, 8 assists, and just 1 turnover a game. And now Bryant's into double figures with his 2nd 3.
And that was just too easy. Hollingsworth was tardy getting through all those screens. Bryant had time to kind of measure that one, and he cashed it in.
Hollingsworth, he is scoreless still. And a foul is on the floor.
Mark Shue can't believe it. Doesn't count, though.
Not at this level. Well, let's show you some scores from around the league. Florida International gets the win, and remember, Robert Eson's team, they needed some help. They were hoping that North Texas would lose.
Yeah, and that's a development that will have North Texas tuned into this one tightly, because they could fall out of that top 5 if the Blazers are able to pull off this road win.
Savage!
Savage says, hold my beer. Let's go. And get off the snide, too. They were 0 for 12 from downtown, and they keep the streak going at 1,003 straight three-pointers made. At least 1 per game.
Boy, Bearden is so dangerous when he gets those hands in lanes.
Yeah, they're sneaky, and when they made their run, it was Bearden and Hollingsworth who were knocking the ball away and igniting their fast break.
Tolu Smith cleans it up.
And they're playing even bigger now with Smith and Bassey on the floor, taking advantage of the bigs from UAB sitting on the bench next to their coach. And this is old-fashioned basketball right here. 3 out, 2 in. Grown man hoops.
Massey is a grown man on the inside. Pearson picked up the foul, trying to stick with him. And finally, Jared Savage gets one to go after he missed his first 6 from deep.
That was a big shot. Splashed it home from downtown. They were, of course, drawing a lot of attention on Massey, and as a result, couldn't get out in time from Savage.
All right, 3-point game, Kristen.
Yes, it is, and Zach Bryan has certainly been playing well for UAB. 12 points, leads the team in scoring. And you guys know his nickname is Scooty. That is what he goes by. He said that when he was like 1 or 2 years old, he used to scoot around instead of walking, so his mom started calling him Scooter, and then it eventually became Scooty, and it has stuck all throughout high school and now college. So what I want to know from you guys, and then everybody watching at home, thumbs up or thumbs down, is Scooty the best nickname in college basketball right now, guys?
Right now, I want to say no.
Really?
Thumbs down for me.
What's better than Scooty?
I think there's a guy at LaSalle in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, of course, we're all known for having nicknames, and we all had them growing up. And some really good ones came out of Philadelphia. This kid's not a Philly kid, but he plays college ball in Philly. Pookie Powell.
That's a good one.
A little guard. He's about 5'10", but he's dynamite in the open court.
And that's the combo of the last name, too, I think. You get the Pookie and the Powell, and that's up there.
Yeah, the alliteration. You can't have missed that.
I'm going thumbs down as well, and it's not because I don't love Scooty, but how about Booty Butler, a Philly guy? He's from not far from here. He plays at Austin Peay. Antoine Butler, call him Booty Butler.
I didn't know about Booty Butler. That's a good one. But when I had to decide, I said, it's hard. You're hard-pressed to find a better name than Scooty, so I'm going thumbs up. Can't wait to see what everybody said on Facebook as well. I like Scooty. We got a Booty in there. We got a Pookie. I love it. I love the nicknames.
Tim, I think we all know probably what your nickname has been your whole life.
What's that?
Scar.
Scar,
right?
exactly. You know, and I had a teammate that wasn't real bright, and he asked me one day, do they call you Scar at your house? I'm like, everybody in my house is named Scarborough. Why would they call me?
Everyone's just raising their hand at dinner table.
Why would I be the one?
Well, Hollingsworth was trying to handle that in the corner, and it does stay with Western Kentucky. So a 3-point game, just over 5 minutes into this second half.
And of course, we had Jerome Pooh Richardson, Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball, Lionel L. Train Simmons. All those guys played out of Philly when I was growing up. Paul Snoop Graham, so many.
Foul goes on Jalen Perry on the perimeter. I'm going to stick in the A-10. You were talking about LaSalle. How about URI? Fats Russell. That's a great name.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And we can go way back, certainly before you were born. Nate Tiny Archibald, one of my favorites, even though he was a Boston Celtic for a while. Didn't like him then.
We're keeping an eye on the Facebook comments. And again, it stays with the Hilltoppers.
We had Joe Jellybean Bryant, Kobe Bryant's dad, also played for the 76ers. World Be Free, Julius, Dr. J. Irving. We can go on and on.
Well, Stephanie didn't give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, but she says Scooty is fast, and that is a fact.
No doubt about that. Here we go.
Patsy was in too deep.
Rim checked himself. He's smiling a little bit on that one, man. But again, Sullivan playing with those 3 fouls, and Gay, number 5, also with 3 fouls.
Sullivan in the game, misses the elbow J.
And again, it's 3 out, 2 in. And what I mean by that, they have a guy on one block, guy on the other, and then 3 perimeter players. This is old-fashioned basketball right here.
Tolu Smith, one of those 6'10" options on the inside against a guy who really does not want to foul.
And this is brilliant by Western Kentucky because a lot of teams want to play open post, high screens, all your bigs out on the perimeter. They're saying, hey, we have the advantage. We have 2 6'10" players that can score in there. Just throw them on the block, play like Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish in the old Boston Celtics days, and let's see what happens.
Tolu Smith got the rebound, and Western Kentucky trying to grab the lead. Hollingsworth.
Woo. That's not close.
He is still scoreless. And the ball belongs to UAB.
Whoa. I thought Jared Savage may have made a great play, but nonetheless, it's going to be, let's see if we can take a look at what happened. And they're going to say he was out of bounds, I think, because it looked like he saved this off of Perry. Yeah, see that? To me, that's clearly off of Perry. They missed that one.
And remember, there was one that you thought went the wrong way in the first half, too.
Very true.
Gay. Boy, if he can step out and knock it down, he is such an effective player.
And he's just getting better with more playing time. And each night he comes out, he's just learning how to play a little bit better, and he's got a great upside as just a sophomore.
Yeah, he showed it Thursday. He had a career-high 19 points in that win at Marshall to go along with 11 rebounds. Teams will sag off Anderson, though he did get Gay in the air.
And there's no reason to do that if you're guarding Anderson. Let him shoot it. Jump when he shoots. Don't go for a pump fake for a guy that's an average three-point shooter.
Anderson does the same on Lovin. Perry on the drive, blocked by Bassey.
Man, Bassey went up to the penthouse to get that one.
He is second in this conference in blocks per game. Scooty for three again.
And Scooty Bryant says, you take away my two, that's okay. I'm going to go get three. Splash down from downtown. Now the 2-3 zone. And this is designed to counter the double post that we're seeing from Western Kentucky. You're going to have a guy in front and a guy behind, usually on almost every pass.
Anderson. Bearden and Bryant battle for it. It is off of Bearden. How about this block from Charles Bassey, who averages about 2.5 a game?
Not many people in the building can get up this high and erase a short 2 points. But out of the scramble, nice ball screen by Lewis Sullivan and a splash down by Scooty from downtown.
So we had our thumbs up, our thumbs down on Scooty, who has responded. Kristen, what's up next?
All right, well, how cool is this? Earlier this week, a former UAB basketball star got to check off something on his bucket list, and I got to think that is something that would be on a lot of our bucket lists. He was on The Price is Right, guys. How cool is that? And we have video of it. You got to check it out. He got to do all the fun stuff. Norman Ankrum Jr., there he is. Now, he said hello to everyone in Birmingham, Alabama during the broadcast. He got to compete in the Showcase Showdown. He won a collection of smart home appliances. Look at him hamming it up right there. So he's 60, and back in 1981, he took the Blazers to the Sweet 16. Then he took them to the Elite 8 in 1982. He also has spent more than 2 decades as a police officer in Birmingham. He retired in 2007, and then got to do the coolest thing ever, which is spin that wheel right there. Now, I think that's got to be on pretty much everybody's bucket list to be a contestant on The Price is Right. So what I want to know from everyone who's watching on Facebook is, what's the best Price is Right game? Guys, for me, it's that wheel right there. I've always wanted to spin it.
Wrong with the wheel, that's for sure. For me, Kristen, Plinko. And the reason, obviously, because I think you can win the most money, but it's fun to drop that poker chip down and watch it and possibly land at the bottom into the $10,000. You do that 2 or 3 times, you got a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm going with the wheel as well, although I am not 6'10" like he does, so I don't think I have the same advantage that he does. Hey, let's check in, Tim and Kristen, on some scores from around the league. We showed you one of the big ones to keep an eye on earlier for UAB purposes. Florida International getting that win over North Texas keeps a top 5 spot in play for UAB. So let's update some of these standings and where things stand right now.
Yeah, North Texas now at the 5 spot, tentatively holding on as UAB. If they can come in with the upset, would switch spaces with them, and that is huge. It's the difference between getting a chance to get a bye in the first round and not, and getting locked out.
Good catch by Gay at the elbow. Long reach with the left hand, couldn't get it to go, but a 9th rebound for Taven Lovin. That's a season high for the freshman.
And Lovin got that because Lewis Sullivan created a second chance opportunity by just going after that ball and keeping it alive.
We've got a vote for Plinko. Someone's with you, Tim. Shot out of the corner. Lovin.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
So 26 games into the season, Taven Lovin had hit 2 threes. He's got 2 today.
Isn't that crazy?
Savage, good shot fake. Into the lane,
left
it
it short.
got the rebound.
And that's okay, reset. But there's been some big shots made by the Blazers. Give them some credit. They've come into a hostile environment, and UAB has been up to the task here so far.
The scoring drought is more than 3 minutes for Western Kentucky until that from Bassey, who's got 17.
Sullivan didn't do his work to get in front of Bassey that time. And again, there's nobody that's going to stop him if you let him get the ball that close.
Here's Scooty with it. We just heard from Nori. She is Scooty's cousin. She's watching. Sullivan blocks. And Sullivan just throws it off the toppers with 8 on the shot clock.
And this is why people salivate over Charles Bassey. Look at the length and the strength in the paint. You are not scoring on that wall of defense there. Lewis Sullivan, a pretty solid scorer in the paint. No match at that time for Charles Bassey. 64 blocks, second amongst freshmen.
Lovin drove it at Anderson, who was out on the baseline.
And Josh Anderson is a bundle of energy at both ends. He's got that long reach, makes it difficult to get shots off when he is engaged defensively.
So the shot clock does not reset.
4
Scooty
seconds.
Bryant realized it. He knows there's 4 left. He throws the lob. Sullivan couldn't receive it. And then he picks up a foul, his 4th.
Oh, man, what an exchange right there. Great execution. The screen is there. Bassey's late. All Sullivan has to do is flush it, and the missed dunk results in his 4th foul. Instead of a 2-hand highlight reel, he ends up getting a ticky-tack 4th personal, and now he has to go take the walk of shame, so to speak.
And for Robert Eson's team, it's the 7th foul on UAB. 9:27 to go, and we're in the 1-and-1 already.
Man, that was a key moment in this game. That would have really, I mean, you missed the 2 points. You lose the services of your top post player. You give them 3 points at the other end. Just a bad exchange.
And hey, when that ball was out, when Anderson stepped out, right away, Zach Bryant pointed up at the rim. I mean, it was clear that was coming, the lob.
Yeah. But just because you see it don't mean you can stop it, right?
Well, Smith converts on both. A freshman, a 54% free throw shooter, hits both, 5-point game.
And that was a milestone moment in this game. 4-point swing. Sullivan picks up his 4th. Let's see how it plays out.
Scooty. Bryant finds Gay for the stuff and the foul.
I tell you what, we've been talking a lot about Charles Bassey, but he got postered on that one. Gay says, I don't care if you're going to the NBA, take that. 2 hands in his face and a foul. That is strong at the rim. Great finish by Gay.
Wow. I mean, this guy is dripping with potential.
He really is.
8-point game with 9 to go. We had some of the fans on Facebook saying, let's get Maktar Gay going. Maybe that spurs him on. That's the answer.
One good dunk deserves another. Take that. This is old school hoops right here. 2 gladiators going at it in the paint.
Scott Grayson connects from 3.
It's always fun when that ball starts going through the hoop. Now both teams starting to heat up.
Huge difference in the three-point shooting today.
Look at this quadruple team.
Savage. Tolu Smith on the offensive boards. Can't get the stick back. Savage wrestles for it. A held ball will keep it at this end of the floor.
It's been a hard knock life for Tolu Smith around that bucket, though. He's had a couple of opportunities in as close as you can get and hasn't been able to convert. But Savage in there getting the second chance. Smith does have 4 points, 1 for 4 from the field. He's missed a couple of bunnies.
Bassie on the block. Step back. Got it.
Okay. He's showing us a little bit of everything right there. Hey, if you want to push me away from the basket, I can splash it. 21 points, 5 rebounds. He's a little bit away from that double-double tonight, but he's been terrific.
We had more thumbs up than thumbs down on that question about his double-double. 5 to shoot. Gay double dribbles. You said it, 21 points for Charles Bassie on 9 of 12 shooting.
Well, you know what? They didn't let him catch it in close because that's been detrimental. But hey, he can step out and knock it down as well. A nice 17-footer from the freshman.
Yeah, Robert Eson was aware of it. That guy looks like a lottery pick. That's what he said to Kristen last time.
Yes, he did. Now, we know, as you said, this game is heating up. So during this break, we're going to have a little fun while everyone waits for play to resume. So I am watching right here because we're going to play a little trivia. So I'm watching for everybody's answers. We call it Name That Alum. Got 2 famous alums. I tried to make the clues a little bit harder this time. 2 famous alums, 1 from each school. Want to see who the first to get both of them are. So we're going to start with the UAB alum, okay? And the 2 of you at the desk, no cheating over here if you saw my answers. All right, this guy played quarterback at UAB in 2006 and 2007. He graduated from UAB in 07 with a degree in economics. And he won a Billboard Music Award for the top country song of 2018.
Wow, that's above my pay grade right there.
Right?
I don't know.
I got to say, I did not know that this person went to UAB. I was surprised, but I guarantee you the UAB fans know. So I'm looking for it. Now, while we're waiting on that answer to come in, let's go to the Western Kentucky famous alum. Oh, I already see it from Matthew. I already see it. I already see this one from Matthew Vincent. So it is Sam Hunt, the country singer, is the one that was UAB's famous alum. So now we're moving on to Western Kentucky. Jeremy Evans, I see him right there, Sam Hunt. Body Like a Back Road. You guys know that song. I see him coming in. Lucas Tom.
I do know
eBay.
that song.
Yeah, right? Everyone knows that song. That's why it won that Billboard Music Award. So now we're going to go back to Western Kentucky. Gifted artist and a standout athlete at Western. Made his NBA debut in 2010, and then the one that I think probably really gives it away. Won the 2012 NBA Slam Dunk Contest. I see right here, Chris has already gotten it, Kyle and Jonathan. It is Jeremy Evans. I was trying to make it a little bit harder because, of course, he is such a legend here at Western Kentucky by throwing the artist part in there. Guys, he does great artwork. I mean, it's really incredible. Actually, in 2013, the Slam Dunk Contest, he dunked over a piece of his own artwork.
Yeah, pretty fitting pick by Kristen on this weekend, the NBA All-Star Weekend, and we had fans chiming in. They were aware of all those answers.
The fans are on top of it, but I want to know, where was Balboni? I don't see her. Did she go back to the studio? Well, she had a backdrop with stadium on it?
Plenty of stadium branding, I can tell you that. It's been a house party here at Diddle Arena, and Bryant comes away with a loose ball, much to the chagrin of Anderson. Bryant in the open court is fouled, and it's on the floor.
That's a great foul, though, because Bryant had a short 2. Levante Bearden negates it with the giveaway near the free throw line before the shot. Smart play.
First foul on Bearden with Hollingsworth set to return. He's going to come get Tolu Smith, so it's back to a more traditional, smaller lineup for the Hilltoppers.
And the minutes have to be a concern for Bearden with 31. Savage played 28 already. Hollingsworth has only played 26. But those guys all average 35-plus minutes. So at some point, you got to start giving those guys a rest.
What a handoff from Scott Grayson. Lovin got the bucket and a foul.
It's amazing what happens when you give up dribble penetration, though. Turns the corner, delivers the package, and Lovin able to finish in traffic. Lovin says, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
We told you he's a local kid, and he was a finalist for the Mr. Basketball Award in Kentucky that Tavion Hollingsworth won 2 years ago. He's already got the local media here today at Diddle Arena. They already put in their request to talk to him after the game. 10 points is as large as the team has led.
Oh, he wants to allow
in the first half.
You got to throw it in there. He's got him.
Again, Gay's been in foul trouble. Bassey backs it out.
See, now Gay needs to back off a little bit and give him some space. Don't get waxed off the dribble.
Savage thought about a deep one. Bryant got his hands on it. Bryant in the open court, 2-on-1, scoops it in.
That kid can just hang like a butterfly. Look at that. Terrific in the open court. And it starts with the defensive pressure, gets his hand on a loose ball, and turns it into 2 points.
He's got 17 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and he's only turned it over once.
Yeah, he's played a terrific floor game, and a big reason why UAB is up by 12 here late.
Anderson will go to the free throw line. We have another look.
Hand in the passing lane, got a 2-on-1, but no need to give it up when you can glide to the basket like that. Terrific finish in transition. Bryant has been terrific today all evening long at both ends.
Josh Anderson has mightily improved his free throw shooting this season.
He's improved his stroke from downtown as well. Solid 32% coming into today. Again, people dare him to shoot because he wasn't a great shooter. He's developing. He's just a sophomore. But more importantly, they don't want to get dunked on. You got to give him a cushion because that first step is deadly. Makes 1 of 2 there.
So it's an 11-point game. Savage extends some pressure. Western shows a different look.
But this is typical Western basketball, though. They have been down in this 8 of 9 that they've won. They've faced their demise on multiple occasions where you think, man, they're not going to win that game. And then all of a sudden, they hit a switch and they finish. You think about the Rice game where they were down. They finished this game 14-1 to send that into a double overtime finish before finally winning it on the road.
Savage is now 1 of 10 from three-point range, and he's still going up with them.
Well, he's a confident shooter because he'll continue to shoot it until he makes it. He's just that kind of guy. Doesn't get rattled.
On the back door, Perry stayed patient, gets his own miss, and gets fouled.
And things are just going UAB's way right now. With 5:09 to play, you wonder if Western has enough or if they can turn on that switch. They're not getting the quality looks at that end for the most part because of that 2-3 zone. Now, they've thrown it in there to Charles Bassey, but they're going to need someone else to step up and knock down shots.
Well, something to monitor down the stretch. UAB is not a good free throw shooting team. 66% this season.
Yeah. And at some point, Western will start to foul. That could be their conduit to get back into this game. Well, Bassey has been terrific. 9 of 12, 3 of 3 from the free throw line as well. Played 30 minutes so far.
Scott Grayson with good defense against Josh Anderson.
He stayed down on the shot fakes and he made him pick his dribble up and take a tough shot. You're right. That was a good defensive effort.
Scooty Bryant into the paint, blocked by Bassey. Sullivan follows.
And Lewis Sullivan when you're being guarded by a shot blocker, that's what you do. You dive to the rim because he's going to take himself out of the play. Even if he blocks a shot, you can clean up that loose change.
Mark Shue talked about it after the game Thursday. Bassey's blocks are great. He had some good ones down the stretch. We've got to box out after that and rotate down. Yep. Big shot from Bearden. An 11-point game here at Diddle Arena in front of this sellout crowd. And let's show you our fan of the game. We got the youngsters on hand for this one. Dressed up, ready to go.
It's not the guy yawning. Which one are we doing?
Yeah, not him. He is chewing gum, but we got the youngster, pom-poms and all.
Yes, he dressed for the occasion. But they haven't given her a whole lot to cheer about other than Charles Bassey this afternoon.
Kristen, that is a great fan of the game.
Absolutely. I love it. They always have great fans of the game here. Now, something I want to talk about, you guys mentioned it, with North Texas losing at FIU by 10 points. Mike, you mentioned that a little bit earlier. This is huge. Now, Coach Isan says that he hasn't talked to his team about being in that top pod. He says we're trying to take it one game at a time. We don't want to put too much pressure on them. But, Tim, you got to think that if this score holds, this is huge. And I'm wondering if you can put into context for all the fans watching right now how much better it is for them to be in that top 5 instead of being in that sixth spot.
Well, again, it's the difference between having to play 4 games to win, to get to the NCAA tournament versus having to play only 3. One of those, or 4 of those teams are going to only have to play 3 games. They're going to get a first-round bye. If you get locked out of the top 5, you have no chance of finishing in the top 4 regardless of your record. So it is a huge situation. If they can hang on, as you see, FIU beat North Texas by 10, 69-59, and that puts North Texas on the proverbial Conference USA bubble in terms of being in that top pod.
Well, those were the scores. These are the standings. And like you said, so important to get into that top 5. First year seeing it. And how about Southern Miss? They played really well as well.
They have, and they have the tiebreaker versus UAB. So if Southern Miss were to lose tonight, they'd be 8-6. North Texas would be 8-6. UAB would be 8-6. But Southern Miss has a tiebreaker. They're in. It's North Texas that would be the odd man out if all 3 of those have the same record. And that's crazy because North Texas had such a great start in the non-conference and in the early part of Conference USA. So for them to be locked out, it's amazing what a few weeks can do.
So similar to the start for UAB, which was 6-2 early on in Conference USA. Jake Omer called for a push on the baseline on Maktar Gay. So Omer picks up the foul, and that is another one on Western Kentucky.
And Maktar Gay and Sullivan are both playing with 4 fouls. You saw anytime you see bodies collide, you always hold your breath if you got a player that has 4 fouls in that mix. But that time, Gay was the one that got fouled by Omer. But, you know, when you look at the score, 55-44, UAB certainly in the driver's seat. But again, Western has this switch. The question is, can they turn it on or not today?
Yeah, the UAB fans on Facebook wondering, hey, are they going to hang on to this lead that has been as large as a dozen? And it feels like Western Kentucky has been in this type of game this season where they've had leads in the first
multiple times,
given them up, or they've had to make comebacks.
Yep, and you know, we mentioned that Rice game where they had to finish the game 14-1. They blew a 13-point lead in that game, so they have wild swings at both ends. They play really well where they look like they can dominate the world, and they can play really poorly, and sometimes they don't time it well enough to get out with a win. There's still certainly enough time, enough possessions, but their margin of error is very slim right now if they want to get out of here with a comeback win.
Well, fans, we have loved interacting with you on Facebook throughout this game with the comments. You can chime in now. We want to know, there's 3:55 left. Who do you think the player of the game is? We've had some good performances on both sides. Probably Scooty Bryan and probably Charles Bassey are the 2 guys you're choosing.
Lovin had a solid game as well for UAB. But yeah, Bassey, no question. He's been the one bright spot offensively. You look up, they only have 44 points. And of those 44, Bassey has nearly half of them. So
Bassey is 9 of 12 from the floor. The rest of the Hilltoppers have only made 9 field goals between them. So again, you can share your thoughts. You can use the hashtag UAB versus WKU. 11-point game, less than 4 to go. I told you UAB was 6-2. They went on the 4-game slide, got a win Thursday, and now here on the road. Western with numbers. Bryant slow to get up.
You got 5-on-4. They didn't recognize it, though.
Bearden. That rolls out. And it stays at this end.
They were late to recognize the advantage, but Bearden still got a great shot in the paint. Rimmed out on them, but they'll have another chance with a fresh 30.
It's kind of the way it's gone for Mark Schuh's team offensively. One of their last 8 shooting it. Omer another miss. And the rebound to Lovin and a reach-in foul on Bearden. So Lovin will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
Hollingsworth 0 for 5, Omer 0 for 4, all of those shots from downtown. And they've gotten 0 points out of that position. And they are up against it right now. Again, to me, it's still enough possessions, but now that window of opportunity is really starting to close if Lovin can cash in here from the free throw line.
Stacy says that Taven Lovin is the player of the game, and he misses on the first of 2.
Stacy jinxed him.
Someone other than us.
Yeah, it's not just us. Staying in that zone. And with good reason. They're not showing a propensity to knock down perimeter shots. But more importantly, you want to clog it up for Charles Bassey, who's been dominant.
Savage. No. Lovin skies for the rebound. Savage 1 of 11 from 3.
Lovin with 12 points, 11 rebounds. And you know, Stacy is right. He's played a really good floor game. And now Lamonte Bearden looks to be not in good shape.
Yeah, Robert Eson goes to check on him.
Yeah. He may have gotten popped in the throat. He does not look good. They are motioning for the doctors, I believe, to come out and take a look at him.
Good to see him stand up and trudge off the court.
What a great job of sportsmanship, too, by Robert Eson to go out. And that's not his player, but he's certainly concerned with him as a human being.
They're working up on that left side up top, sort of in the collarbone shoulder.
Clavicle,
area.
yeah. Yep.
Well, we're going to have another look. Let's see if we can find anything. Bearden top of the screen center.
Yeah, he's already starting to bend over. As he was running back, you could tell he was slumping, and then it was obvious that he couldn't shake off whatever was bothering him.
Well, that's the 5th-year senior in Lamonte Bearden.
And of this 8 of 9 win, he has been very key to the turnaround that has taken place. We talked about how steady he has been with the ball, but it's more than that. His defense and everything has been terrific.
Hey, next Saturday, we'll have our next stadium game on Facebook. Utah State visits Boise State. You can catch that game exclusively on Facebook here at 4 p.m. Eastern Stadium. Welcome to the game.
So, of course, they had to take a look to see if there was anything flagrant. And Bill Jacobson came over and said there's nothing flagrant there, so we play on.
Bryant's had 17 for UAB. That's a long 2, and he gets that to go.
That may have been a dagger with 2:32 to play, 13-point lead. That may be a hill that's too high to climb for the Hilltoppers.
Again, with a win for UAB, they are assured of a top 5 spot. Picked off.
Wow, that was a telegraph pass, ill-advised. And now UAB with a chance to seal it. And you wonder with these guys with iPhones and things like that, you wonder if they know that North Texas already lost. This is a big moment for them.
Robert Eson told us that he has not addressed it with his team. Kristen was talking about that. They talked about it at the beginning of the season. Felt like maybe when they got to 6-2, it placed more pressure and more expectations on them. They've kept the team away from that, but probably some of that noise has to creep in.
Yeah, they lost 4 in a row, including 2 to their travel partner, Middle Tennessee, during that stretch. And they went from 6-2 to 6-6. Well, since then, they've been able to win a couple of, again, in my opinion, the toughest road swing going through Marshall and Western Kentucky. And to get a road sweep against any 2 teams is difficult, but to sweep this 2 has to make the Blazers fan base feel a little bit better about this group.
Well, some of the fans on Facebook were concerned about UAB's free throw shooting. Bryant made both. Anderson answers with a 3. That's his first and just the 3rd for the Hilltoppers on their 22nd attempt. Well, let's check out our play of the game today. Tim, you said it. This may have been the dagger from Scooty Bryant.
Well, it was a big shot indeed at a big moment. Late in the shot clock, just really probing the defense, trying to find an opportunity, and he pulled up and shot it at a big moment, and it really kind of took the wind out of the sails of Western Kentucky as well as the fans in this building. Second look, different angle, still cast it in.
So UAB inside that huddle leads by 12, less than 2 to go. What do you think the emotions are for that team? This has been a charged environment all day, and this group has a chance to get a win and put themselves in a really good spot the final month.
Robert Eason told us before the game that we feel like we can beat anybody in this league. He said Western Kentucky is clearly the most talented team. So if we could come in here, and he felt confident that they would win before the game, not arrogant or anything, but he believes in his team. And he felt like if they could get this win today, it could really kind of change things in terms of the way their season's going. This is a big win. It's a big win on the road. It gets them in the top 5. And now they're shooting for a bye in the first round of Conference USA tournament down in Frisco, Texas in mid-March.
And aren't those looks in the huddle so different? The withdrawn frustration from Josh Anderson, and then David Lovin already getting dapped up in the huddle.
Yeah, you juxtapose those 2 pictures and you see a night and day situation. And, you know, of course, Western is without the services of their head coach, Rick Stansbury. Rick, get well soon. I know you're out there watching. And, you know, he's going to see his team probably fall in a home game. But, again, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. Western is right now in 2nd place, so they don't have a lot to hang their heads about. Still a lot of good basketball to be played.
Do you need to start fouling if you're Western Kentucky, or play out another?
Yeah, I advocate fouling as early as 3 minutes into the game to maximize the possessions, particularly against a team that only shoots 66% as a group.
Yeah, Bell's got it. He's only a 62% free throw shooter.
And now you don't want to foul him this late. You want to just play it out.
Sullivan steps out, nearly walked with it. Contested 3 is good.
Maybe we were premature with that dagger shot, because that one right there was huge. 5th-year seniors give you that, though, don't they? Nice time.
Passy from Anderson. And there is a quick foul on Scooty Bryant, 72% free throw shooter. And our player of the game today is none other than Zach Scooty Bryant.
He's already sealed it, but he'll have a chance to cap it off with a couple of free throws. Look at his numbers, 21 points. He was terrific at the defensive end as well, getting in the paint or getting in the passing lane, allowing himself to get transition buckets, knocking it down from downtown as well. Rebounds, assists. He staffed the stat sheets, and as a result, his team is going to get a quality road win.
Carlos chimes in that Zach Bryant is from the small town of Hastings, Florida. And boy, doesn't he look poised at the free throw line, but he misses.
This is unusual to watch the crowd file out of this building.
Maybe too soon. Anderson another 3, 10-point game, a minute left.
Reminds me of the Miami Heat in the finals when everybody was trying to get back into the building because the Heat made this improbable comeback in Game 6 when Ray Allen hits the shot in the corner to force a Game 7. Kind of changed the legacy of LeBron James.
Hey, check out Stadium's weekday lineup. We start today at 10 a.m. Eastern with The Territory, where we take you through the biggest stories in sports across the country. Sach and Tram airs at noon, followed by our high school show, Emerge, at 2. Campus Insiders at 2:30. Then we wrap things up for the night in sports with The Rally, Game Time in America at 6. Stadium, a new way to watch sports. Welcome to the game. Well, Western Kentucky is on a 5-game winning streak. That obviously in jeopardy right now. They had been winners of 8 of their last 9. UAB, after a 4-game slide, got a win and trying to do what you say is the hardest road trip in this conference.
It is, at least this year. In the past, UAB Middle was a really tough road trip. But in my opinion, this year is certainly Marshall and Western, probably the last 2 years.
Bryant just got that over the fingertips of Hollingsworth.
Ill-advised pass.
Lovin is fouled. That is 10 team fouls on Western Kentucky. So Robert Eson's team gets 2 the rest of the way. And it starts with Lovin, 64% at the line.
And I like the 5 on the floor for UAB. They'll get a little bit more out of their bench as this season continues to go, but this 5 on the floor is as good as anybody.
Well, let's update the standings for you. Southern Miss blew out UTEP, so they get another win, improved to 9-5. And again, because of what happened earlier with the North Texas loss at FIU, UAB hangs on here. They're in the top 5. Anderson muscles to the rim, and an ill-advised foul from Gay.
And UAB, back on January 24th, beat North Texas at North Texas, and that is the reason why they have the tiebreaker.
So the day is done for Maktar Gay, who showed flashes today, but not the promise that he had with his recent double-doubles.
Well, he's been in foul trouble all game, but when he was out there, he still played a solid game. 7 points, hit all 3 of his free throws.
Hilltoppers can't inch closer after Anderson missed, so Savage had to wrap him up and commit a foul.
This Western Kentucky team, though, is a head-scratching team. Even in this 5-game winning streak, 2 of those games went, one went double overtime, one went overtime, and they were looking death down the barrel of a gun, so to speak. In both of those games, they ended up winning somehow. So it's been that kind of year. Even in winning, it hasn't been pretty, and it certainly hasn't been easy. And could I mix more metaphors in there or not?
Get them all out.
Yeah, you know.
1 left. So the door's still open. Sullivan the split. 10-point game. There's a 3 for Hollingsworth, who had been scoreless for 39+ minutes. And nearly got a trap out of Bryant, who gets fouled instead.
It's been a strange year. Teams have blown leads late. You think about what Duke did in this state last week at Louisville when they came back from 23 down in the second half. Western Kentucky was up against Old Dominion 21-0 to start the game. They ended up losing that game at the end. So it's been that kind of a weird year for comeback. So don't go anywhere yet.
Bryant now 3 of 4 at the free throw line today. 22-point afternoon for the sophomore from the Jacksonville, Florida area. Splits. 8-point game. Does Hollingsworth have another one in him? Throws it up and connects. 5-point game.
You know what? This Western Kentucky team thrives in adversity. When their back is to the wall, they become a different group of guys. And they're hitting some really tough shots and making this one quite interesting down the stretch here. that second, that right there, I mean, Hollingsworth wasn't even facing the basket when he caught that ball, and he ends the play with a three-pointer.
And that's a reaction that sort of says, finally, after all the misses we had as a team. Bryant 3 of 5.
Well, this is why you start fouling maybe a little earlier, at least in my opinion. A lot of coaches don't like to do it, but I've been on the floor as a player and started fouling at the 6-minute mark, down 30, and had the shot to win the game.
2 big free throws from Bryant, and Robert Eson takes the timeout, up by 7 with 27 left. Robert Eson always fiery in there. He's had a big day from his guard, Scooty Bryant. Charles Bassey on the other side has been productive as well with a double-double. So thumbs up there, 23 and 10 for the freshman big.
Yep. Again, he's averaging a double-double, so we weren't exactly going out on a limb going thumbs up on that thumbs up, thumbs down situation.
On that limb.
Right. Really good floor game for him. They'll need a couple plays to go their way here to get out of here, though. Down 7.
Again, no Bearden, though he has returned to the bench for Western Kentucky. Final 20 ticks. Anderson. No. Rebound to Scott Grayson and the Blazers.
That's how you guard that, though. The Blazers did a great job of crowding the three-point shooters and discouraging even taking the shot, let alone making it.
Savage has fouled out with 14.4 left, so Tolu Smith returns. Tyreek Scott Grayson, sophomore, junior college transfer, misses the first. Wipes those hands, back to the line. 8-point game. Hollingsworth, a deep one.
You kidding me? Took that one from half court. That should do it, though.
And it does. UAB got some help earlier in the afternoon, and they come into Diddle Arena, and Robert Eson's team picks up a huge win to get a spot in that top 5.
It changes potentially their whole season, so they didn't want to make it bigger than it was. They wanted to focus on what was happening on this floor. They got it done in a hostile environment. Give credit to that young man right there on the right. Robert Eson, his group came in here and took him to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
The 36-year-old head coach in his 3rd season at the helm gets the team's 16th win of the season, 8-6 right now in Conference USA. Some celebration from the Blazers and company. And let's head over to Kristen with Coach.
Coach, you come in here and a team that has won 5 straight and 8 of their last 9, and you outlast them and beat them on their home court. What was the biggest key here tonight?
I thought our defense, especially to start the game, we really made them try to beat us from the perimeter. They missed some shots, but we did it really good, and we just played together.
Speaking of playing together, I don't know if you know this, but North Texas lost and you won, which means your team goes into that top 5 pod to play in CUSA. How do you feel about the way your team is playing, especially those 2 big road wins as you go into the toughest level of CUSA competition?
Well, I've said all along, when we're healthy, we're really good. And we've been healthy the last 2 games, and we played better, but it's great to be in pod 1. We've been taking it 1 game at a time, but our guys played so hard. This is the first time we've won at Western since I've been at UAB in a long time, so this is a big win for us.
Speaking of your guys playing hard, I got to ask you about this guy right here. Our player of the game, 24 points tonight for you, Zach. What can you say about what he did here tonight?
Well, you know, Zach is one of the toughest competitors, and not only in our conference, but in the country. And he just stuck with the game plan. He did so many little things that helped us win. I'm really, really proud of him.
Yeah, I saw you, Zach, out there. You were cheering on your teammates there to the very end. But this was a big game for you. What was the key here for you tonight?
I feel like we just had to come in and play tough because we know it's a road win. Well, it's a road game, and we wanted to get the dub. So it was just come in, play tough, stick to the little things like Coach said, and we'll come out with the victory.
Speaking of a road win, you guys have gone on the road and played in two of the toughest road environments over these last two games, at Marshall and here. How are you feeling about the way you and your guys are playing right now?
Oh, I'm feeling great right now. I'm ready to go in there and turn up with my team right now.
All right, well, we're going to let you both go do that right now. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
The first time Robert Eson found out that they're in the top pod, he didn't let it show. How about that poker face? They are in, and they can go turn up in the locker room.
They should, because that was a big road win in a hostile environment, but most importantly, it impacts their season in a positive manner. Top 5 with a chance for a bye in the first round.
So for Tim Scarborough and Kristen Balboni, for our entire crew, led by our producer, John Claybrook, our director, Tom Piro, the whole group here at Stadium, Mike Monaco, saying so long. Visit watchstadium.com or search Stadium in your local channel guide for more.